will be continuing, and the fun is only beginning. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la.
Hello and welcome to Don't Bury the Lead. We recap WWE SmackDown every Saturday night. But tonight is a unique night because we are recapping, or I should say previewing, WWE Survivor Series. So we're doing something a lot more different than we normally would. We're going to preview Survivor Series. We're going to give you a ranking number for what we think the match will be ranked at and what we want to see out of the match. My name is John Zindel. I'm joined by Dom Scarcella. Dom, go ahead and tell the people a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, it's that crazy weekend of the year, Thanksgiving weekend here in the U.S. And so we've got a special show lined up for you. But even though it's a special show, it's unusual. We still don't want to bury the lead. So without further ado, John, don't bury the lead. What's the top match we're looking forward to from Survivor Series this Saturday, November 29th?
Dom, we don't ever bury the lead. And the lead is, and I'll give you a little preview of all the matches here. The lead is going to be the Women's War Games.
All right.
That's right. Not the men's. The Survivor Series War Games with the women. We have AJ Lee versus Charlotte Flair. Or excuse me, AJ Lee, Charlotte Flair, Alexa Bliss, Rhea Ripley, and Io Sky versus Becky Lynch, Asuka, Kairi Sane, Nia Jax, and Lash Legend. Dom, this is my number one here for this show. What is this number for you, and what are you looking forward to the most from this match?
I think we could say this is number one for me also because the Women's War Games have delivered each of the past few years that we've been watching. They brought back War Games in 2022, and I think that was the first premium live event that you and I recapped for Don't Bury the Lead. And the women, I think the women's match this year may be built a little better than the men's match.
Yeah.
Just for the teams involved. It's funny, again, the heels are all on the same page. The baby faces are the ones who are skeptical of each other.
Oh, totally. The baby
always
faces
works like
are
that.
right.
The crooks always get along. But the baby faces, a little question as to who's doing what and do they like each other? Do they trust each other? I guess the heels just all know none of them trust each other, so they're going to be fine. But I like who's in this match.
Dom, quite frankly, that's a good reason to go ahead and say this is why I like the match. It reinforces your point about about heels being well-oiled machine and the faces who are supposed to be good guys are terrible at teamwork.
Yep.
Just terrible at it.
What did you think of how they rounded out each of the teams by kind of bringing back the Becky Lynch AJ Lee rivalry from over the summer, and then that apparently had taken place years and years ago before I was even watching any of this stuff?
Oh no, I've done something awful. Hang on, let me just zoom back out. They're hitting me with so many commercials here.
Yeah, right.
Let's just play it safe and do a 100. All right.
There you go.
Sorry, say that again, Dom.
What do you think of how they rounded out each of the teams by bringing back the AJ Lee Becky Lynch feud? Because by itself, Charlotte Flair, Alexa Bliss, Rhea Ripley, Io Sky versus Asuka, Kairi Sane, Nia Jackson, Lash Legend, that looked like a great 4-on-4. Does adding the Becky AJ dynamic to this take it up a notch for you? Does it take it down a notch, or is it kind of the same?
Yeah, I think it definitely brings it up a notch. I think it's a great point. I AJ Lee looked decent in her match with CM Punk and Seth Rollins, that mixed tag.
Yep.
Couples retreat, as you refer to it as, and I will rip that off because that's a great way to put it. Couples retreat match. But yeah, I think that having Becky Lynch and having AJ Lee in there is just adding a little more intrigue. And I'm gonna be honest with you, there's a couple things I wanted to call out here.
Sure.
I'm not as interested in Becky Lynch and AJ Lee, although I'd like to see, can AJ Lee kind of still go in a real match? Because she kind of got a freebie, if you will, right? Like those mixed tag matches you don't have to go as hard.
No.
But I definitely would like to.
War Games is maybe in the same boat.
Yeah, depending on when she goes in. If she's in the beginning, there's a lot of pressure, I feel like, of the guys and gals in the beginning.
Yep.
They're just in there alone, and everyone's just kind of waiting for it to go to the next round. So you have to be
right.
you have to oftentimes put like the more green people out there first, and then the big stars at the end. But you really have to have a good workhorse in the beginning that
yes, you do
carry you for all those minutes. From my perspective, though, much like Royal Rumble. So, but from my perspective, there's a couple of people I wanted to call out.
Sure.
On the heel side, I'm very curious to see Lash Legend, because this is a huge match for her.
Yes.
Coming up from NXT. All these people in this match are super recognizable at this point, either former champs, current champs. I think everyone's a former champ, literally, except for Lash Legend. So
Lash and Kairi Sane, I don't think ever had a singles title, but everybody else is a world champion.
That's a great point, Kairi Sane. But Kairi has she's been up in the main roster for years and has been, a tag champ. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what Lash Legend can do, because whenever I have seen her on SmackDown, she's impressed. And I would like to see someone coming up from the younger women in NXT coming up that are good. Like, I just want good talent cycling in from NXT. So to keep the show going. The other thing I want to call out, and the reason I made this my number one ranking match, this woman here, Io Sky. She has turned into the War Games queen. She always has the big high spot and like the spot of the night.
She has competed in more War Games than any woman.
Yeah.
Well, going back to NXT, when I think War Games was an NXT gimmick for one of their pay-per-views. She's competed in more of these matches than anyone else. And yes, the last 2 or 3 years we've seen, she does something off of the cage.
Did she do a moonsault with the trash can around her?
Yes, she had the trash can on her.
Yeah. Something nuts. She always does something pretty crazy, and I think now there is one thing I have to say, like usually with a high spot person like that, it's like there's got to be more to it than the high spot, and she certainly has that. You could argue she's probably one of the best workers in the company, in the world right now, Io Sky. So she has all the other elements, and she could do the high spot,
Yep. Do you think she has to push it this year and do that high spot? Because she spent the last year since the previous War Games as a world champion. And she's been standing toe-to-toe with Rhea Ripley, Bianca Belair, all these great wrestlers, and she hasn't looked out of place. So does she have to go for that shock value? I also wonder how they would top it. I mean, last year she put a trash can on herself and just dived onto like 5 or 6 people.
That was crazy. That was very skilled.
And it wasn't like they cut eye holes into the trash can so she could see. Like, she had a trash can over her. It's like, Leroy Jenkins, and she just jumps from the top of the cage. And that's
Leroy
idea
Jenkins
what's going to happen, because she can't see anything. She can't maneuver herself. She can't use really her arms or her legs to do any sort of, mid-air adjustment. She's just falling with a trash can on her.
She totally Leroy Jenkins.
I'm wondering if that's like the peak, and they're like, okay, let's just do other things now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know. She totally Leroy Jenkins it, and I don't think she has to, but maybe there is that expectation. Like Kofi Kingston always did something really cool
Ah,
um, in Royal Rumble, and he'd always have to top it. So they might do that
yes,
with
about how
her.
he somehow avoids elimination.
Or, if you want to get some good heel heat in, she tries to do something cool and someone breaks it up and the crowd boos, you know?
Yeah, there you go. Now, what
And
about the matchups of just the seeing the two teams next to each other? One of the things I like about this is the two teams look even. Like Asuka and Kairi Sane kind of on the smaller side, but very quick. And I look over the other side and I see Io and I see Alexa Bliss. And then I look at Becky and AJ Lee, who are kind of similar. AJ's a little on the smaller side, but Becky doesn't tower over her really. And then I look at Rhea and Charlotte, two of the taller and bigger wrestlers. And then I see Nia and Lash, who are bigger than them, but like it's not like the babyface team is all a bunch of small people.
no, it is like an
I
even
think they
matchup.
look this. I think they look like, if you were picking teams, you might pick the teams this way.
Yeah, and even with their accomplishments and yeah, I think it all kind of makes sense for it would be evenly matched. Even where they're at in the card, um, you know, you have like a lot of top people up there. They
Yeah.
have they have a good amount of top talent in this Survivor series in general. Because sometimes you would think that some people might say, "Nah, I'm good." If they're way high
Yeah.
up. You know.
Yeah, everybody who's healthy, who's a top star on the women's side, I think is in this match, except for one person because she has another match, which we'll get to later. But I mean, I can't think of anyone who's been left out of this match who's a top star and world champion caliber. I mean, Bianca Belair's hurt, Liv Morgan is hurt. Tiffany Stratton might be hurt.
Yeah.
It's basically Stephanie. The two women's world champions are not on the card. One of them is not on the card at all. One of them is not in this match, but on the card. But I mean, everybody else, I think, who's a big star at this point and who is could contend for the A-list type of belt, I think they're in this match.
Yeah. Anything else from this match, or do you want to move on?
Do you want to say who you think would win or would like to win or something you'd like to see come out of it?
Right. Yeah, I want to see Lash
You
perform.
mentioned Lash Legend, and I'm with you on that. I want to see how she can hold her own with the obvious main roster talent in this match.
I want to see an EO crazy high spot. I've been already guaranteed it. I don't think it has to happen, but I'm selfish, so I'll say I want to see that. And as far as the teams are concerned, it feels like the heels will win, right? Because the faces are just not really working well together.
I don't know. They teased that kind of Becky Lynch bailed on her other teammates on the most recent Raw. Like she, Io Sky wound up doing, of course, the high spot off the top turnbuckle, flattening everybody on the floor. And Becky had bailed out on it and was just like staring holes at AJ Lee. So I don't know. I think Becky Lynch is a wonderful wild card here. I've already said that if I was making a Mount Rushmore of women's wrestlers all time, she'd be on there representing the modern era. So I think she's great. I do wonder what the Charlotte Rhea dynamic is going to be like. Are we going to see one of those turn heel? On the other hand, Asuka and Kairi Sane, Lash Legend and Nia Jax, they might want those belts.
Mm-hmm.
Do they stay? So I think WWE's done a good enough job of building two teams that could stay together. But on the other hand, if something weird happens, you can point to something and say, oh, okay, well, that's why they didn't really get along. Or that's why this person kind of bailed on her other teammate here.
Right.
I like it. I think the heels winning is probably a good call because it is always more fun when baby faces chase. And I think this is going to lead to more baby faces chasing because nobody on the babyface side currently has a belt.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't realize that.
Yep.
Oh, it's
was
all
almost
heels?
3 out of 5 on the heel side, but Becky Lynch recently dropped it to Maxine Dupree.
Okay. All
Oh, yeah,
right.
there's no belts on the babyface side, even though they're all stars.
That's the lead. Let's keep it moving.
Mhm.
How about you? I'll give it to you. What's your number 2 match that we're going to talk about here from
I
Dom's
want to
side?
see John Cena defending the Intercontinental title, which he just won for the first time in his illustrious career against Dominic Mysterio. Just because I think these two are going to have a really entertaining match. And, you know, War Games gets most of the publicity in Survivor Series since they've brought it back. But I think just watching a great one-on-one match, and I think these two can have it. I think it's going to be fun to see. I also think it's going to be interesting to see if John Cena retains the belt, as he has only one more appearance left after Survivor Series, and it's the Saturday night's main event on December 13th, his last match. So I wonder if they're going to put the belt back on Dominic Mysterio or if John Cena is going to retain. So there's intrigue here as to who goes over. I can't imagine it's going to be a screwy finish. I
No.
think they're going to have. I mean, not a screwy finish in the sense that it'll be a count out or a DQ or something. Like there may be shenanigans leading to a pinfall, but I think it's going to be like, if it's a finish, it might be an ECW finish, but it's going to be a finish.
I love that ECW finish. Is that where there's just like tons of people coming in to interfere and then something happens?
Yeah, they always made it a point of pride that every match ended with a pinfall or a submission, no matter how many shenanigans happened.
Mm.
Like there was always a 1, 2, 3 in the middle of the ring, or somebody tapped out or submitted or gave up.
I think
They
it's a
didn't do a lot of DQs or countouts or things like that.
I
More
think
like no
that's a
contest,
good idea, honestly. Especially
right?
in Survivor Series. Like WWE just gets too cute sometimes. It's like just give us a winner and a loser. We
Yep.
don't really care about people staying strong or looking good or whatever, Yeah.
I'd like to see Dominic Mysterio win this match and like trade off with John Cena as they, on the retirement tour. I really don't see how it benefits Cena or Mysterio if Cena wins twice against him in such short order.
Yeah. I think it also kind of makes sense to pop it over to him.
Yep.
Like, what is he going to retire with the Intercontinental Championship? Or does which would be probably the most ridiculous title for him to retire with.
The one he just won, yes. He never won before. He was never associated with that title.
And I feel like that one has the most lineage, realistically. Like,
Almost. That's back to the 70s with Pat Patterson, isn't it?
yeah, it's that, and they've like changed the look and the feel of all the big titles. They were like the Universal title at one point was the big title, and then
Yes.
it's always like two titles at the top, and one is the big one, but they're always kind of changing what it kind of looks like and feels like. Whereas,
Yeah, because during the Roman Reigns thing, they combined the two world titles together, and then had to like weirdly split them by just bringing back the World Heavyweight Championship.
yeah, they had to get rid of the Universal title and then bring the Heavyweight Championship. But the Intercontinental has always been there and always stood for the same thing. It's always like someone in the upper mid card, and really a mid carder and the best worker in the company. So
Yeah, someone who's a really good worker and maybe on their way to a top title, like it was for Gunther.
Gunther, Triple H,
Yep.
Patterson
Shawn
had
Michaels, Bret Hart. Yeah, so many guys who held the world title also held the Intercontinental title. And now John Cena, although he did it in reverse. He won 17 world titles and then finally eked out an Intercontinental title. But I think this will be a good match too. John Cena's been wrestling some really good matches since he shook off the ring rust. I mean, it was almost all the way back in the CM Punk match. By the time he got to the second Cody Rhodes match, John Cena was all the way back. So I think he's he's ending his career. If this really is, if they're not swerving us, if this really is his last year, I think he's ending it by getting himself back into shape and wrestling some really good matches. And I think we'll see that here again. I think Dominic Mysterio's going to be a worthy dance partner for him.
If I was a betting man, I would say Cena is going to do his last match, and next year in Saudi Arabia at WrestleMania, when they're shoveling tons of money at the WWE, they're going to say, "We want John Cena," and then they're going to say, "Cena, here is an absurd amount of blood money,"
Yeah.
and he's going to have to come back. It's going to be like a $5 to $10 million payday, like something crazy where it's like, yeah, just come back and like come out and do a couple minutes.
Well, that's something to look for that'll be 2027 in Saudi Arabia.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he'd come back for just Vegas in 2026.
No, he won't do that. That'll be the big Saudi Arabia show. I just think it's all money. It'll be a big money thing. Like they pay absurd amounts of like there was some of those, comics that were over there and
yeah,
one of them declined it and then they doubled his offer. And it was like, I think I might have to go. It's like it's like $3 million for one show or something, and that's where they're at. Like they get what they want. Basically,
well, if he doesn't come back for the Saudi Arabia show, then in 2028, when they're over in Shanghai, China, we know he will be there.
Oh yeah, he better come out as,
and he won't even have to be John Cena. He will be there as John Cena.
Cena, yes. Oh man. Yes, in 2028 when they're in China. That's great.
Joke aside, I think this is going to be a fun match, and I do like that they booked what looks like a really cool non-War Games match for this card, because sometimes those can get lost.
I'll tell you what, John Cena, he may not be the greatest in-ring wrestler of all time, but he might be one of the greatest sports entertainers of all time.
Yep.
And he is going up against another person who I'm wildly sports entertained by in Dom Mysterio, with all the theatrics, with all the jail stuff. Like, that's just so funny. I mean, it's tough to pull off. Sometimes the sports entertainment stuff is very cringe, but these guys both pull it off.
Agreed wholeheartedly. I think it's going to be a good match.
All right, so we talked about, our ranking here. What would you like to see from the match, Dom?
I'd like to see some good action. I think maybe there's going to be enough time for them to go maybe the 20-minute range, which as a one-on-one match Cena's done before. I don't know how many times Dominic Mysterio has gone 20 minutes in a one-on-one match.
Yeah, I don't know.
He's been in tag matches. He's been in Judgment Day stuff. He was in that crazy 5-man thing at WrestleMania where he won the Intercontinental belt. But I don't know how many times he's wrestled one-on-one in longer matches, against the guy who may be shouting things like clothesline and, duck the boot at him so that everybody in the arena can hear it.
Right. Yeah. The triple threat match as well, where he did that fantastic spot with the bell.
Yeah. I mean, so this may be a proving ground for Dominic Mysterio.
Yeah. Although
if they stretch this out to be like a 20-minute match.
Although triple threat might be more complicated than a singles match, but yeah, definitely.
But you can't hide here. Like, he has to be involved in everything.
Yeah,
I don't know if he's been involved in 20-minute matches where he has had to be involved in everything before.
And you know what?
This could be a proving ground for him.
It's really funny. I speak so highly about Dom, but now that I'm thinking about it, I can't think of a singles match off the top of my head that I'm like, wow, that was a banger. That was all.
Yeah, right.
I just he just has the best character.
He has great characters. He has great finishes.
Yeah.
But as far as doing all the ring psychology for a long one-on-one match, this will be a proving ground for him. And I'd like to see him succeed, and I'm interested in seeing how it plays out.
Yeah. I like this one, and what I want to see is I want to see Dom win it. I think him knocking off Cena would would give him so much gravitas, right? Because
Yes.
he knocked off Cena. Cena's on his way out. He doesn't need to carry the Intercontinental title around. It's
No.
ridiculous. He should be losing and putting people over anyway, although
Yep.
that's been like few and far between. But yeah, he's been going over a lot, right? So I
Mhm.
feel like Dom needs a win. I'd prefer Dom to get a win to put him in the driver's seat to, in a year or two here, he's pushing for the big belt. He shouldn't be
And
down
how
here.
insufferable would he be on Raw or SmackDown or wherever he is if he knocked off John Cena in his retirement tour to win the belt, to
Yeah.
win back the belt? He would be insufferable, which is the best Dominic Mysterio.
Yes, when he's insufferable. Exactly. Yeah. No, no one does insufferable like Dominic Mysterio.
You're right, because he manages to prevent it from going into go home heat.
Yeah. Yeah,
He gets entertaining heat, not go home heat.
even like when he did the stuff with his father, right?
Yes.
And he was like, yelling at his mom and his sister and stuff like
Yeah.
that, like just horrible. And you're like, oh God, get this guy out of here. And they were booing him. It's entertaining, but you're booing him because he's a bad
Yeah.
guy, right?
Yep.
Yeah, he's great. All right.
2 matches left in our preview here.
Number 3. Let's move on up the chain. Move on down the chain here. Oh, where'd it go? Oh, the very top, because I skipped it.
There you go. The men's War Games match.
Yes, this is my number 3. I think we picked the exact numbers here. There was only 4 matches, so it wasn't hard. But
Yes.
the men's War Game match, we have Cody Rhodes, CM Punk, Roman Reigns, Jay and Jimmy Uso versus Brock Lesnar, Drew McIntyre, Logan Paul, Braun Breaker, and Bronson Reed. This is the graphic here. And Dom, what do you think of this matchup?
In this War Games, all of the titles are on the baby faces. Both world champions are in this match on the babyface side, Cody Rhodes and CM Punk, along with, the guy who's almost the de facto world champion, Roman Reigns,
Right.
and the 2 guys who had the longest tag team reign ever, Jimmy and Jay Uso. And on the heel side, you've got 3 guys who are up and comers in Logan Paul, Bronson Reed, and Braun Breaker. You've got Drew McIntyre, who's doing some of the best work of his career, but has not been rewarded with a belt. And then you've got Brock Lesnar, who sometimes he's here, sometimes he's not. So it looks like the star power is on the babyface side. And maybe, at least for 4 of them, you don't know about Brock, but 4 of the other guys have been built on the heel side as very hungry. It's almost reversing the heel face dynamic, because
Right.
the heels in this match give you the impression that they are the guys chasing.
Yeah.
Like Braun Breaker is chasing. Bronson Reed is chasing. These are the guys with the chips on their shoulders. They have something to prove. They haven't done it yet. Logan Paul is chasing. Drew McIntyre has done a wonderful job of being the guy who's chasing, who feels like who keeps pretending that he's the victim all the time. These guys are chasing as heels, which is not usually how it works. So this is an intriguing way they've set up this match. Everybody in here is a big time performer again, especially on the babyface side. 3 of them on the heels men's side are being groomed for it. They're close to it. But I think a good match, and I do wonder if the heels go over in this match as well.
They might have to, right?
They feel like they need it.
Yeah.
Like, what is gained by having the baby faces win here?
They're winning everything, right?
Yeah, they've already got the 2 world titles.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's more to be gained by having the heels win than have the baby faces win.
And they got this man right here to take the fall.
Who are you pointing at?
Oh, I'm pointing toward
Oh,
Jimmy Uso. Big Jim
Jimmy,
Uso.
okay.
Nobody's gonna feel bad if Big Jim takes the loss, right? Nobody's gonna be like,
Poor
"Oh,
Jimmy Uso, who's in the running for the Ricochet Memorial Award this year.
he might have locked that thing up in July." If I'm being
Right?
honest with you.
He's so good at being himself, at retaining his credibility over the years, but also being able to get into a match, whether it's tag or singles, and put the other guy over. I wonder what's going to happen with Jay. They're in a weird spot with Jay. They've teased him turning heel for a while, but then they put him in the, who gets to lose to John Cena unless you're Gunther tournament. And they had him win his first round match. So, I mean, unless they're going to turn him heel during this to set up his heel match, and him to be a heel for his next round match in the tournament.
Mm-hmm.
So I wonder what happens with Jay here. They've been teasing a lot of stuff with Jay for a while.
Yeah. That's a really good point. I don't know what's going to happen with Jey Uso. He is in a weird spot in WWE, as a lot of people seem to complain about him on the internet. Then when you watch him on the TV show, you're like, this guy's crazy over. The crowd loves him.
Yep.
But then, so you're like, am I reading the wrong comment section? What's going on here? And then you're like, kind of, I like his stuff, Jay, but maybe at times you're just like, he doesn't feel like a champ.
The live crowd loves Jey Uso. The basement crowd does not.
The basement crowd. It is the basement crowd. The people that want to complain. They're watching YouTube clips of Jim Cornette, and then they flip this on, and then that's what their opinions are. It really might just be Jim Cornette doesn't like him, and he's got that effect, right, of those basement people.
Or anybody. He's got a large following. Yeah. So
he's got a huge following. If he decides that they're bad, then they're bad.
As I'm looking at the heel side, Logan Paul, he seems almost like he was rushed into this.
Yeah, definitely. But having said that, I think he fits pretty well with that vision.
He does.
He might fit better than Seth, only because Seth. It felt like Seth had two cronies, but with Logan Paul in it, it's like he's at a lower level. So it's like a faction that makes sense. They're at the same level.
Yeah, they're almost like Judgment Day.
Yeah.
They're almost like Judgment Day turning on Edge, because they were tired of like one guy having the spotlight and kind of keeping everybody else a peg below them.
And even the concept of the vision, isn't it that they're the future?
Yeah, right.
So, and Seth is there. It's like, no, you've been hanging around with titles for 15 years in this company, or 10 years in this company. You're not the future. You're lingering around.
You're clearly the present, but like the vision, maybe they didn't have quite enough time with Seth's real injury after his fake injury, to have him turn into a guy who was really pushing the bronze.
I love that.
Maybe that was in the cards.
They didn't have enough time with his real injury after his fake injury. If they only didn't do that fake injury, because if
they didn't waste all the time with the fake injury, then they could have done more of the story, and then maybe even the real injury wouldn't happen.
Yeah, they wasted so much time pretending that he was hurt for no reason.
And then when he really got hurt, they're like, "Oh my goodness, we have to rewrite everything."
Right. And then before, coincidentally, they didn't have to rewrite anything when he was fake. No. And that was the big giveaway. It's like, no, he could just cash in his money in the bank at some point. And he stays away, and he never has to, it's like, okay, he'll get healthy, and he'll get healthy and cash in his money in the bank. It was so obvious.
So we've mentioned Logan Paul and Jimmy Uso. They were involved in the finish of the Advantage match on Raw. It was a tag team match, and Logan Paul wound up pinning Jimmy Uso in a match that some people, and I could see why they said this, the chemistry-wise, Logan did not have real good chemistry with the Usos. Like there were some spots where it looked like they weren't on the same page, or somebody forgot something or called the wrong thing or whatever. It did not look all that smooth, but it was a schmaz at the end, and the finish worked. So I don't know. I don't like predicting like what might happen here, as far as like who's going to win, who's going to get the pinfall, who's not. But it's going to be an intriguing matchup. And I think the heels have more to prove than the baby faces. I don't see how the baby faces winning and being a well-oiled machine and not turning on each other or not even having any friction does anything for anybody.
We've had so many chats and we missed them.
We did. Oh my goodness. There are people chatting with us.
Not,
we love it. Nick Teodoro from the Nick Club Wrestling Happy Hour. Fantastic. Thank you for joining us.
Dirty
You
Dom's
think Dirty
winning this?
Dom Mysterio is winning this?
Mm-hmm.
There you go. That's the next one. We've been talking about he has the character tools to be the next star. He's just got to show us a little more physically.
Mm-hmm.
Or at least me. I won't speak for everybody. I think he's got to show us a little more physically, but he has all the character attributes to be a star for a long time. And he's still not even 30 years old.
Looks like the Dom match, he says, isn't going to go 20 minutes, go 10, 15.
That would almost be disappointing to me. Because there's only 4 matches on this. You figured they'd let Cena, Dominic Mysterio be more than just a Raw match or a SmackDown match. I'm not saying you're wrong, Nick. They very well could do it, especially since, as John and I discussed, we haven't seen Dominic Mysterio in a long singles match. So maybe they don't try to test it out here. Mm-hmm. So maybe it is just a 10 to 15 minute. But I would like to see them go around the 20-minute mark and see if Dominic Mysterio can really hold it. Because there's no way he's the future of the company as a world champion if he can't go one-on-one in a premium live event for more than 15 minutes.
Dom versus AJ SummerSlam was great.
Yes.
Of course. AJ Styles has evolved. Yes. This match should be carnage. Oh, the men's probably. The heels in both War Games matches have more to gain with the win. Yeah. And then, great show, guys. Smash the like. Thank you.
There you go. Smash the like. Thank you. And while you're if you're on YouTube, finding Don't Bury the Lead, a wrestling channel on YouTube, and subscribing to us, hit that search bar and look for the Nick Club Wrestling Happy Hour and go show some subscriber love to Nick and Nicole.
Yes, they have a great pre-show. I'm gonna go ahead here and share.
We've got one match left, right?
Yep. And
it is still on the Mount Rushmore of 2025 Survivor Series matches because there are only 4.
You can't wrestle a match at Survivor Series and not be on the Mount Rushmore. But
no, because there's only 4. There we go. It's perfect. You're on the mountain. If you're on the card, you're on the mountain.
Number 4 matchup here. Stephanie Vaquer defends the women's world title against Nikki Bella. Number 4, Dom. What are you looking forward to?
Number 4 out of 4. And in fairness, it's because the other ones are 2 War Games matches and a John Cena match against someone we both really like.
Yes, this could have easily been a
good.
This easily could have been one of those. I'm excited to see what they do mid-card things, but with 2 War Games, no, a cage match is going to beat this, right?
Yeah, there's no mid-card on Survivor Series really. There's 4 matches. 2 of them are War Games, and then you have 2 other matches. So, Stephanie Vaquer has not had a lot of testing of her one-on-one since she won the world title. I don't know if Nikki Bella is the opponent to bring out a great match from her. I'd be interested to see. I mean, Nikki Bella, you tell me if you remember her as a wrestler. Was she the kind of worker who could really participate in a banger of a match?
No. Sue me, but no, she was not.
Okay.
She did some stuff at certain points in her career. Oh, no, it was? Her sister was a little bit better than her.
Is that Brie Bella?
Yeah. Just a little bit better than her.
Okay. So, Stephanie Vaquer. I haven't seen a great one-on-one match out of her that did not involve Io Sky, who has great one-on-one matches with everybody.
Yeah.
I I'm intrigued to see if Stephanie Vaquer can handle this kind of a match.
I got
Unless they're going to give them, 7 minutes like they did to Jade Cargill and Tiffany Stratton at one point.
Here's the deal, Dom. Just with the way the roster's set up and who the current champs are, you got Jade Cargill and you got Stephanie Vaquer. These two need to show you something. These are your champs for a reason.
Yep.
So I don't care who she's facing. If it's Nikki Bella, who is reliable enough to get a good match out of, she's at least okay. She has to go out there and show you what she can do, and know that you can put a match together and have it be awesome. That's what she needs to do because she's the champ.
Yep.
Her and Jade, like, the training wheels are off. They gave them the belts.
Yes.
They forced the belt on Jade because she was in AEW and they want to stick it to Tony Khan. They gave the belt to Stephanie Vaquer because she had a viral moment with Booker T in NXT with that butt spot she does.
Okay.
Like
the devil's kiss. Yes.
The devil's kiss. Yes. So that's what we're doing right now. That's what they're doing. So there's a lot of really good women on the roster. Stephanie Vaquer.
They're all in War Games or injured.
They're all in War Games or injured. And Stephanie Vaquer has to step up to the plate and put on a banger with Nikki Bella and shut people like me and you up that are questioning her. And I hope she does it.
Yeah, it's a show me match, like you said. It's this isn't like Cody Rhodes and John Cena, where it was two guys who they're going to be able to do this.
Or it's not an NXT person versus somebody else with the U.S. title. No, you got the big belt. You got to act like a big champ.
Yep. Women's world title and Nikki Bella. When Nikki Bella signed up to come back for this sort of string of cameos, did you think it was in the cards for her to be in a world title match?
Crazy, right? No, I didn't think that. I didn't know what she was doing.
Yeah, because by the time they were trying to do a big program with her and Liv Morgan, but by that time, Liv already had dropped the singles title to Rhea months earlier and had the tag title for a while. But it wasn't going to be a world title program. She's now hanging around in a world title match on a premium live event.
Yeah, I don't know what their deal is. I'd almost say, shouldn't Nikki Bella be wrestling AJ Lee? Just two old folks out there.
Yeah, more of a nostalgia match.
Yeah, if you're going to do this, that would be full nostalgia pop, right?
Yep.
And that matchup makes a little bit more sense. But, hopefully Stephanie is able to work around Nikki's flaws and puts on a solid, good match, because I feel like they may be the opener. I don't know.
Yeah, I wonder if they're going to let John Cena open the show.
Or could John Cena and Dom open the show and then their bathroom break?
Right. Or I think in years past, they've bookended the show with the War Games matches.
Oh, they open with one and then
they open with one. Yeah. So I wonder how they're going to, that's a good question. How do you think they present this as a full whole event to people? Does John Cena come out first so that he gets the first huge pop of the night?
They could do, here's what I would do. Because I would do War Games opens.
Men's or women's?
I'd open.
It has to be women's, right?
It's got to be the women's, right? Yeah, probably.
Open women's War Games, then Cena Mysterio.
Then Cena Mysterio, or then you do after the women's War Games, you do the bathroom break. You do Stephanie Vaquer versus Nikki Bella. Then after that bathroom break, you have Cena versus Dom, and then you roll right into the men's.
I wonder if they'd have the wherewithal to do Cena Mysterio first, because everybody's going to go nuts for John Cena's final premium live event. Then do Stephanie Vicaire versus Nikki Bella second, and then back-to-back War Games with enough time for the changeover in between.
Mm.
Get the weapons out of the ring and whatever else was dragged in there. Show us all the promos that happened during the premium live events anyway. More interviews, things like that. Go over the John Cena, who wants to lose to John Cena unless it's Gunther tournament.
Yeah.
Go through all that. But I wonder if they'd give that a shot this year, just because of who's on the card. And let Cena open.
My only concern is if you do that with the War Games, of the possibility of the crowd getting tired.
Tired of War Game stuff?
Just if it's long, yeah, tired. Like see War Games and then do War Games again. That's going to be what? Well over an hour, right?
It's going to be like an hour and a half of people in a double cage.
Yeah, hour and a half of people in a double cage.
Right, and everybody in the live crowd going, I can kind of see them. They're behind the bars.
Also, I am curious how bad the shots are going to be, because I do oftentimes look up for cell phone footage just to see if I can use anything. And man, if they can't see for 2 matches, they're going to be pissed.
It's a little rough, yeah. So everything on the card, it's either stuff that are stars that are stars, or it's people that you're at least optimistic this is their chance to show you something, right?
Yeah, totally.
Very good. I like it too. That's what I got. I don't do a lot of predicting finishes or anything, but I do just see the way they've put together the matches. It looks like a pretty interesting card.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what.
Anybody have anything for the live chats? Tell us in the live chats if any of our analysis strikes your fancy, or perhaps we're way off and you're like, you guys are crazy. This is going to be way different. Tell us in the live chat. Tell us in the comments if you are watching the archived live stream over at YouTube. Don't Bury the Lead, a wrestling channel. Help us hit the next benchmark. Help us climb the next mountain. We're close to 1.2 thousand. So that would be 1,200 subscribers, aren't we? We're around there.
Yes, we're very close to 1,200 subscribers.
Very close to our latest short video that you put out, John. It's in the 2.5 minute range. You can watch it. It involves 6 of the people in the women's War Games. Asuka, Charlotte Flair in a great save from an injury spot, plus Kairi Sane, Alexa Bliss, Nia Jackson, Lash Legend were all involved in that match and that scrum at the end. That is a great video that's up there now, and it's getting some good traction. So head on over and watch that. Watch our latest stuff.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. I'll even look at this real quick, just for the heck of it. This is at 2,723.
Views, not bad. I like it.
Yeah, so it's closing in on, not including the MJF video or the Bray Wyatt video, which I just took footage of, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not including that, and not in, it's turning into a top 5 Don't Bury the Lead wrestling video.
That actually includes wrestling.
Yes.
Because the Dominic Mysterio, Logan Paul one is just those guys on a podcast.
No, that's number 1. Because
that one's number 1, and that's Dom Mysterio turning heel on a podcast.
Yeah, that's number 1. And then there's a couple other breakdowns I did that were bigger than it.
Yes.
Another video I did is when The Rock came back.
Yes.
We just did the video, and I was like, The Rock came back. We need to do the video. And you're like, I didn't see the show. I'm like, you don't need to. Just talk about The Rock. Press record. I pressed record. We talked about The Rock. We ended the show. And then I'm like, I got to get this video out. And I'm glad I did, because it got 3,000 views.
Yep.
So that's a big one. And then I think it was like 2 breakdowns. It's that Rock one, 2 breakdowns, and then us. I should
Yes.
say, and then the Oscar one. And I'm hoping the Oscar one kind of keeps going and is my highest
Yeah, why not?
breakdown video.
It's a good topic. It's really what our show is about. Is that you and I just don't watch the TV show and be like, "Oh, it sucks. It's crap." We're not Beavis and Butthead. You know, we're not the 2 critics from the Muppet Show.
We are not the Muppet critics.
We are not them either. We are not Waldorf and whatever the other guy's name was, Peabody. We are not, here just to kind of clown on it. We're here because we appreciate professional wrestling, and that Oscar video with Charlotte Flair, that finish there, that shows you that at the top level, these are professionals.
Right. Well, although we're not here to clown on wrestling, we're gonna get into some clown like situation here.
Yeah, that's a tease for what may happen a little later in Cheap Heat. Is it Cheap Heat time? We don't have a thumb drive since we didn't recap a show.
Mm-hmm.
Although, John, I give your analysis a thumbs up. Your preview analysis has been fantastic. I wasn't even teetering on it. It's a thumbs up.
I give you a thumbs up too, Dom. You know what?
Yeah, thank you.
We're the best.
And you gave me the thumbs up, and not just because I didn't go 3 hours.
No, it wasn't just because of that. As a matter of fact, when you were going long, I'm like, good, we need to fill some time. I don't have much to say. All right, so the next thing we're going to be talking about is Cheap Heat. Cheap Heat is where we talk about trending topics in the WWE, AEW, and other parts of the wrestling world. We talk about these trending topics. We make throughout the course of this segment, and we make smaller videos based off of what we talked about. And that's really the way we got monetized. It was just talking about trending topics. YouTube loves it, so we talk about it. We give our 2 cents. I edit the videos down. I threw some video in there and make some music, add some dumb music, and make a goofy thumbnail. And that's how we got monetized. So it's our bread and butter, if you will. And let me just go ahead here and give me a sec.
You had something you wanted to share for the first bit of Cheap Heat.
I do, and I need to open up because I closed it. Give me a sec. I will open it up. But basically, as many of you that are watching right now know, Bret Hart had some things to say. He is on the cover of the thumbnail. And not only is he on the cover of the thumbnail, but he's in the title. And
Yes.
this is what we call in the business waffling. As I waffle a little here.
You may be wondering, like, after all this time and all the interviews that Bret Hart has given, is there anything new for him to say in one of these question and answer formats? Because everybody asks him about Goldberg. They ask him about Montreal. They ask him about Vince. They ask him about Shawn. They ask him about Eric Bischoff, WCW, Vince Russo. They ask him about Steve Austin. They ask him about being Canadian. And it's been 20 years of him on the shoot interview circuit. Is there anything he could possibly say that people have not heard from him before?
That answer is yes.
Yes.
There is more. Just when you thought, so petty. Just when you thought
when you thought he was going to just do his 5 moves of doom on the stage there with the host there in the microphone. No. Suddenly it's a Frankensteiner and a Spanish fly off the top rope. This is the Johnny I'm Not Sure show there.
I honestly, I'm just telling you, I think I'm very close to the truth here. Shawn and Vince were lovers, and that's why I'm being dead honest, and I'm telling you, I just, when I look back, it's like I got caught between two lovers, and I got shafted and screwed over, and Sean was so envious and jealous of my position that he finally had to sleep with Vince to get it. And I tell you, I say all this with absolute. I would say it to Sean if he was right here. I would actually like to have Sean come clean and say, look, we were lovers. Because I'm sure they were. I have an absolute 100%. If I saw either Vince or Sean here, I would say I think you guys were lovers.
I love it. All right.
The Bret Hart Comedy Tour, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, Bret Hart is a maniac, and this is a new one, right? And he
Yes.
has been trashing HBK, Heartbreak Kid, for years over the Montreal Screwjob, and this happened like 30 years ago, and he
Almost.
and they've had situations where they've had meetings and they shake each other's hands, and then he just says, you know what, screw it. I'm gonna go back to being a monster, and trashing, HBK. And a lot of people had sympathy for Bret. I think when this Montreal Screwjob thing happened, when there was the documentary, that was fantastic documentary. I think a lot of people had sympathy for him. Wrestling in the Shadows or Wrestling with Shadows, something like that.
I think it was that, yeah, Wrestling with Shadows, yeah.
Yeah, that's an all-time amazing sports documentary. And a lot of people had sympathy for Bret. But at this point in his career, and to see what levels of, what HBK went through to go clean and go to rehab and try and find the Lord and become a better person, and seemingly has kind of done that in his career as he's now with NXT. Bret.
Yes, and he's back to really contributing to the industry. As you said there at NXT. I mean, Shawn Michaels, even with Vince gone, like Shawn Michaels is doing some good work in the wrestling industry.
Yeah, and Bret is just still old Bret, just in front of 35, I don't know, like 120 people, at this little convention or whatever, and he's just burying Shawn Michaels. It started to become like, all right, Bret, like now you're turning heel here, right?
Right.
Because before he was the face, you felt so bad for him. He got screwed. And HBK is a monster, and Triple H standing outside of that locker room and not letting him go in, and him punching Vince. You're like, our hero punched Vince, and now it's like, man, you're a real jerk for kind of essentially making up a rumor. It's not even true. It's not like, oh, this happened. Like, oh, Vince and HBK had sex together. No, that didn't happen. He's not even. He thinks that's what happened. That's like what a child would. That's like what a girl in middle school would do. Is spread a rumor. Not
this is the old. This other person got the promotion ahead of me. They must have slept with the boss. That's what this is.
Yes,
take away the male on male aspect of it, which gets a snicker from some. This is basically complaining like, I didn't get the promotion because the person who got the promotion slept with the boss.
Now,
and it's kind of weird taste considering that Vince McMahon is still involved in a lawsuit about actually doing this to some employees.
Oh yeah, that's what. Here's the thing too. There is some.
I wonder if Bret Hart's going to be deposed now in the lawsuit.
There's really a little bit of truth to it, right? That's one thing about the insult. It wasn't just silly. It was like, now that we know who Vince is a sicko.
Yeah.
Like, real bad things that I can't say on this microphone he's done. Or,
Right.
My YouTube channel might get taken.
Allegedly, but like the allegations are in line with what Bret is talking about.
The allegations are all over the place, and what he allegedly did, is so bad that, again, I can't explain in great detail what he was doing to women at the company. But yeah, he was making them do things for more money, promotions, et cetera, and the things were awful.
Just
right?
to keep your job in some respects, it seems like.
Yeah. There was, tons of rumors. So end of the day, because the rumor is so close to what could have potentially happened, and because Vince is such a freak, you can't even rule it out, right?
Bret Hart, this is very well put together. This comedy routine here. You wonder if he workshopped this at a few open mics up there in Calgary. The little mini tour here and there, opened for somebody on a comedy show, and now he's ready to roll it out for the big YouTube special.
Oh my God, the best is the delivery. He says it so deadpan, and then people are laughing, and he's like, "No, I'm serious. This is what I think happened." And like, instead of just chuckling along, like, "Haha, got him," with a little bit of a homophobic joke, it's like, "No, I think this is what happened. This isn't a joke to me," and it just makes it funnier.
Yes.
All right. Let's go ahead and move on with Cheap Heat.
There we go. Let's talk about some of the people we mentioned in the women's War Games match. How about AJ Lee? Did you know that she has a production company, Scrappy Heart Productions, that she runs with actress Amy Garcia, and they do things like anime. She's been a big anime fan for a long time, and she's working with the people who let's see here. It's Toei Animation, known for highly appreciated projects like Dragon Ball Z, Sailor Moon, Digimon, and even some Hollywood collaborations. So she wants to do a movie with one of these guys, and she apparently has some sort of deal. A little bit of breaking news. This isn't just a pipe dream here. As we go, apparently AJ Lee and her actress friend were also co-writers on the Netflix original movie Blade of the 47 Ronin, which I've never heard of, but like there's a lot of stuff on Netflix I haven't heard of. Most of the stuff on Netflix I haven't heard of. She's also trying to do acting and producing, increasing her portfolio in the entertainment sector, as her husband is. We talked about last week CM Punk being billed as Phil Brooks on a new movie. So this is pretty cool stuff for AJ Lee, getting into anime and signing up with Toei Animation for one of their upcoming projects. And not to be outdone, her rival, Becky Lynch. You wonder who thought of this first, or if they were just like trying to get one up on each other. Becky Lynch, they've released, Paramount has released new images from the new Star Trek spinoff Starfleet Academy, and sure enough, that is Rebecca Quinn, known to us in wrestling circles as Becky Lynch. I think she has a recurring character, if not one of the stars of this. She says everyone's favorite wrestler turned actor will be starring in one of the most iconic franchises in TV history. Star Trek Starfleet Academy premieres in January on Paramount Plus. You can get a sneak peek of just how amazing I look here. Small correction, Collider. I am not one of WWE's biggest stars. I'm the biggest. It is always a shoot and a work with Becky Lynch, which
Well
is why
played.
she's so awesome.
Yeah,
But yes,
she's playing heel and she's promoting her promoting her show while playing heel. I love it.
She is in Operations Gold as part of the Bridge Crew. The upcoming series also stars Holly Hunter as the captain. A few other people who may be making regular cameos include Stephen Colbert. Let's see here. Paul Giamatti. These are the only people I've ever heard of. But I'm sure all of the other people are fantastic at what they do as well. So this is something for you Paramount Plus folks to look at. This comes to us from Collider. The post, of course, from Becky Lynch was from her X account. What say you? It's Clutch Points telling us about AJ Lee and Collider telling us about Becky Lynch. Who wins this matchup? What is cooler? Starring in a streaming-only series as one of the people in there, or having your own production company and signing up to work with one of your hero production companies in a collaboration as AJ Lee is doing?
And who is AJ Lee? Is it for Pokemon?
She has a production company. It's Toy Productions. Said we just wrote our second feature. I think we have permission to say it. I think this is the first time anyone's hearing this. We're breaking the news. It's an upcoming collaboration with Japan's Toei Animation. They're Scrappy Hearts Productions in collaboration with Japan's Toei Animation on an anime. Let's see. It sounds like an anime full-length feature.
Boy, I don't know. Probably better.
I guess it depends on what your tastes are, right?
Probably better.
Like if you're into anime and you really value the production side of entertainment, then the AJ Lee thing sounds awesome. If you're more into, say, like franchises and long-standing sci-fi stuff and just, the acting and the story, then maybe Becky Lynch be getting a recurring role in a series is cooler to you. What say you, John?
Tell us in the comments. Tell us in the chat, because I would say, from my perspective, I'm not huge on anime, and I also am not huge on Star Trek. The only reason I'll go with Becky Lynch and Star Trek is because I watched the preview today after I read this article.
Okay.
And it looks ridiculous. It looks almost like what people were calling it was like a CW show, where it was like all high school kids going to, like, in the Star Trek world, like a bunch of high school kids going to school. So I like that because I can tell my wife, I'm like, I bet you would like this show, actually. So that's why I like it. How about you, Dom? What's your pick?
I have seen more Star Trek than anime over the years, just because there's so much Star Trek and it's been available in the States mainstream for a longer time than anime has.
Sure.
I'm going to say, though, AJ Lee, only because it's like her production company and they're really taking the lead creatively on it. I think that's pretty cool. I mean, Becky Lynch might be in for the bigger payday if this is a long-running starring role in a series that's going to go on for a while, for several years. And I don't know how much screen time AJ Lee gets in the anime, if she's going to do voicing any of the characters. But I think it's front of the house, back of the house, like in a restaurant. Becky Lynch is doing front of the house. AJ Lee's doing back of the house. I think it's a little cooler just for me to see that AJ Lee has a production company, because I had no idea. And then they just landed a pretty big collaboration. So I'm going to give each of them props, front of the house, back of the house. I'm a little more intrigued by what AJ Lee is doing, though, because it's the behind the scenes stuff that you don't see. Like, we're all going to see Becky Lynch if you watch this series.
Yeah, I like it, Dom.
So very neat stuff. Up next, hey, someone else who's in War Games. It's Logan Paul. And for all the crap he gets, Wrestling Inc. has an article here, writer Ella J., about a fellow WWE wrestler, Grayson Waller, who we kind of like here at Don't Bury the Lead. He's been kind of up and down depending on whether he's doing his talk show or actually getting in the ring and wrestling.
Yeah, when he wrestles, he's good. When he does the talk show, get him off my screen. But that's where we're at.
It's a little iffy when he does the talk show. The Grayson Waller effect.
It's a love-hate.
The Grayson Waller's effect is that I want to see you get in shape and wrestle more. That's the Grayson Waller effect. According to WWE Raw star Grayson Waller, Logan Paul may actually be too good in the wrestling ring. His quote here, I think Logan Paul ruined celebrity wrestling because he was so good at it and put in so much effort that any celebrity coming in after we compared them to him, Waller told the Battleground podcast. It's more with the NIL program. You get some of these college athletes who are social media celebrities. They want to come in. They want to go straight to the main roster. They want to straight away do big matches at WrestleMania. It's like, no. You have to understand Logan did that because he's a special breed. He's a special athlete. And then they give some props to Jelly Roll here. Everything I've heard about Jelly Roll from the NXT guys who worked with him, he was there every day. He was there for hours. He was doing everything that we do, meaning the wrestlers when they have to train. So if someone's willing to put themselves through what we went through, I got no problem with them being in the business. But if they just want to come in and get a cheap payday, they're going to disappear real quick. What say you about Logan Paul getting some props here from fellow WWE up-and-comer Grayson Waller? And do you agree? Has Logan Paul crossed over from being a celebrity in the WWE, from being a guy who is part of the WWE?
Yeah, a lot to take in here, right? I do agree that he's been a great celebrity wrestler because most of the celebrity wrestlers come in, and to his credit, they come in and they suck. But he came in and could hang, and
Yes.
obviously did a lot of work to figure it all out. Is he a great wrestler, period? No. He's a great celebrity wrestler. He was probably the best ever, for all I can kind of come up with here. He's better than Johnny Knoxville. He's better than like Kevin Hart getting thrown out of the ring. Like he's better than a lot of celebrity wrestlers that were bad. Grayson Waller mentions Jelly Roll and how hard he's working. He was a terrible celebrity wrestler.
He was passable, and I also like the fact that he ate the pin.
He did eat the pin.
He said he didn't want to be the guy who shows up for the cameo as a celebrity and they put him over.
No,
he worked hard and did what he could in there and did not embarrass himself and ate the pin. So he showed a lot of respect for the business.
Yeah.
Like Jelly Roll obviously had physical limitations. Professional wrestling, especially at the top level, is difficult.
Yeah, he shouldn't have been in
so
there.
Jelly Roll had limitations, but he respected the business, and I think he did well for himself.
Yeah. So from my perspective, he's right. Grayson Waller's dead on. Except, I wouldn't give I get that he worked hard and he wanted to do it, but if I worked hard and I really wanted to do it and I went and played quarterback in the NFL and I sucked, then, it'd be like, yeah, he shouldn't have been out there. Jelly Roll shouldn't have been out there. He shouldn't have been out there.
Up next, somebody who definitely should be out there, but who is currently injured. It's Will Ospreay, and he is having a bit of an X feud here with Jim Cornette. Showed a video of some guys doing either basement or backyard wrestling, sort of training on some spots here. And apparently, as this happens, Will Ospreay saw this and told the kids, hey, keep doing it, keep following your dreams. And Jim Cornette then replied with something like, he says, Ospreay says, I fully support this. And Jim Cornette replies with, he says from his hospital bed after major surgery, kids, keep trying this at home. Which is kind of a Cornette thing to say. But then Will Ospreay replies with a very long for an X post retort here. And I thought it was very professional on Will Ospreay's part. I mean, you do have a very good point. However, I hope you can understand where I come from. This is exactly what I used to do when I was their age. We didn't have the luxury of an independent scene. We do now. And even if we did, I was 14 years old. I was only allowed to go to training school to learn the basics. But I had enormous passion for the business. And if I wasn't allowed to work shows, I'd do it myself. And I'd argue that because of this, I had a head start on a lot of the people I trained with when I finally turned 18. From there, I've been lucky enough to have the support of friends, peers, and fans to push me from where I am today. The fact that I've still had that same style for now 17 years, and this is my first surgery, I think I've looked after my body. So there's a retort directly to the whole thing like, oh, yeah, you hurt yourself and you're telling kids to do dangerous stuff. Like, no, I've been fairly safe, safer than almost anybody else for 17 years.
Yeah.
Think about it. At 17 years, this is my first major injury. And then Will Ospreay, he knows his wrestling history. You think this is stupid? I'd say it's equally as stupid as to fall off a scaffolding, breaking both of your legs.
Fire.
I'm sure there's a few people that wished you landed on your head. I, for one, hope you're doing well and not in too much pain from your injury. But to me, it showed that you care, the care you have for the industry at that time. I see myself in these guys that are finding any outlet to do what they love. Their bumps are solid and basing is great. Like I said, I understand there is a level of danger doing this, so I hope none of them get hurt. But I can't help but root for these guys, and I hope I one day see them in the ring. Once again, sorry for the long arse tweet, and hope the message finds you well, boss. What say you about backyard wrestling, basement wrestling? We've mentioned before that each of us, me as just the commentator, but you getting in the ring on the indie circuit, what kind of training did you go through for NJCW, John?
Only the best.
Only the best. And did you have any, I don't know, backyard or living room matches, perhaps at Zane Street?
Great question. So, did Cornette not respond to that?
I don't know if Cornette responded to this. There are lots of other people praising Will Ospreay here, of course.
Oh, okay.
The Hardy Boys' backyard roots have been heavily glorified. The criticizing is selective to say it best.
Jim didn't respond.
Well, this is as of the 24th, and this was posted on the 24th. So as of later that day, maybe half a day, he hadn't responded. I don't know if he has. I don't really follow either of these guys. I was just alerted to this because it's a wrestling topic.
Yeah, he did pretty. I think he put him in his place, I'd have to say. But yeah. So, anyways, from my perspective, so I started wrestling in NJCW, and really what we were doing is looking up stuff on the internet, and then we would practice the moves before we would get in there, and then that's how we would wrestle, right?
There you go.
So that's when we first started. But then, and I was just doing very little easy matches. If you can remember, I was a comedy jobber. So I would be like, do the move to me before the match, and then I would get the move done to me and get pinned, and I'd get out of there. Eventually, I did get training with Chikara. Chikara is a company that trained. Do you remember Cesaro?
I do.
Yeah, Cesaro. A lot of
Claudio
guys.
Castagnoli over in AEW now.
Yeah, and then in addition to that, they also trained a lot of other guys. CM Punk was there for a little bit. Like he did a show with them, but that was before because they had worked with Ring of Honor a lot. And then a couple other name drops I have here. Orange Cassidy, do you know who that is? In AEW?
Over on AEW, big star.
Pockets in his hands, pants.
Yes.
Yes.
Title holder for them for a while.
Yeah. He was at Chikara. So anyways, I got training there, and then that was really helpful once I got the training. But, at some point, you just got to get in the ring and figure out what you can do and what you can do safely,
Mm-hmm.
And I think what those kids are doing are the same thing, So I totally agree with them. They're just kids doing. They don't have access to training, so this is what they got to do. They got to look at
Is what they're doing any more dangerous than going to a skateboard park and flying off of railings?
Yeah, no.
I mean, teenage boys. I remember being a teenage boy. I just had a birthday. I'm not a teenager anymore. But I remember, it's why you play football and basketball, even sandlot stuff, baseball. You're trying to test physically what you can do. And sometimes the danger is part of it. The fact that you take a bump, you may get the wind knocked out of you.
Yeah. Playing football with no pads. Tackle football.
Yeah, we just went to the schoolyard and played.
Yeah. Yeah. Super dangerous, right?
Yeah. Wrestling companies saying, don't try this at home is like when the head shops say this bong is for tobacco use only. That reply from Perfect Game Lex.
Amazing.
Thank you, Will Ospreay and Jim Cornette, for a little back and forth there on the interwebbies. Sounds to me like Will Ospreay successfully stayed babyface, and Jim Cornette, as usual, was the heel manager.
He was the heel manager.
They're both in character, even on the interwebbies.
Interwebbies. I do have to say, so I listen to Cornette, and he's oftentimes talked about how great he likes Will Ospreay, but then he also talks about how he's not good all the time. So
there you go. You know, here was sort of the original that Will Ospreay responded to, and it's guys in their living room.
Yeah, that's fine.
That's a
totally
good back
fine.
bump.
Kids have done that. Yeah.
It looks like a thick carpeting there. He got hit with a piece of cardboard. Okay.
Cardboard, you know?
Nice bump.
Whoa. That's really
cardboard laid out. Oh, there you go. It's the Mexican Destroyer, the move you love. Cardboard on top of old mattresses.
Steve Farley used to do backyard wrestling.
Who
and
did?
He's got tape. Steve Farley, and he's got tape.
Oh,
of it.
yes.
And Brent might have done it, or he was the ref. One of the two.
That was a good splash there. Showing again, he's jumping off of the top rope, which is the second-story window. Did you notice here on this? I want to point this out.
Yeah.
He jumps off, lands feet first, his knees clear his opponent. He's almost not even touching the guy he's splashing.
Yeah.
That's a well-executed splash.
Totally.
They're on mattresses with cardboard on top of them. These guys look like they know what they're doing. So
people have the internet now too. You can look up how to do the spots, and then
yes.
they can, you know, it's not like this forbidden fruit at this point anymore, where you can't, or this forbidden knowledge, and you have to pay all this money to get it. It's free. It's on the internet.
It's on the internet. You could see how it's done. This the account dudes posting their W's. These kids have no idea. These are the memories they'll look back on for the rest of their lives. Remember when I jumped out of the top floor of the house and splashed you through the chairs?
Right.
So there you go. Good stuff. Here we go. Choke slam. That's a good bump. That's a good bump. Pin him. Somebody count. Somebody count. Oh, he's not kicking out of that. Thank you, all the folks on X posting all this interesting content. Is it not? All right, if you mention Jim Cornette, you kind of have to mention Vince Russo, don't you?
Oh, yeah.
Harry Morton. He details the lunacy behind Juggalo Championship Wrestling, which is the insane clown posse. Guys who did some, I guess you would call it backyard wrestling, because they were really into wrestling. And when they couldn't really catch on with the promotion, they got more into music. But their music always had little callbacks to pro wrestling in it.
Yeah.
And now Kerry Morton, I believe the son of Ricky Morton, big-time star with the Rock and Roll Express. Kerry Morton wrestled in NWA for a while, may still be doing it. But he's also having fun working in Juggalo Championship Wrestling. He's pointing out the reception that an outsider like him has received, because he didn't really come up with them and go full-time. He's doing cameos there. He praised Juggalo Championship co-owner and Insane Clown Posse member Violent J for his efforts, calling him very creative and hands-on with everything going on. He wants the town to go out there and try new things, to experiment, to see what may work or what may not work. This is just cool indie stuff. Here is Kerry Morton out there at a JCW event. He also talks about the Insane Clown Posse, of course, always having polarizing views in the media and by non-fans. However, he said, look, these were just two kids out of Detroit, Michigan, who grew up with a vision of becoming professional wrestlers. The vision shifted. They went into music, but they still have this catalog of storytelling, rapping. They eventually went back to their roots, which is professional wrestling. I think there's a misconception where people have an obvious first impression. People will judge a book by its cover. You see two guys with clown face paint and some wild artwork on their album covers, and they say some crazy spur-of-the-moment words, but they're characters at the end of the day. Knowing both of them personally tells a completely different story. I remember the Insane Clown Posse and Raven getting involved in WCW back in the 90s.
Yeah.
These guys have been around a long time as wrestling fans and as wanting to try wrestling. And, of course, Vince Russo joined Juggalo Championship Wrestling in late October. His appearance made headlines for various reasons, including that it was reported he was joining the National Wrestling Alliance.
The NWA.
NWA, yes. So Russo's doing a lot of backstage vignettes, and Kerry Morton is doing some stuff in the ring. Do you remember the Insane Clown Posse very much, either from their music or their wrestling?
Their music
what
was...
say you about basically this indie music and wrestling promotion, which to me sounds a lot like, minus the face paint and the clown stuff, like NJCW.
Yes.
NJCW was huge into music.
Yeah. Right. That's actually a great point. No, it's a similar path, right?
Yeah.
The only difference is the Juggalos were really successful. The Insane Clown Posse, they had a video game. They were big when I was kid. Like when I was a kid growing up, like some people had their shirts and stuff. So I can remember in high school, and they were weird. That was their gimmick. Yeah. They were weird. And then everyone that goes to the big
they're insane clowns.
They would have big festivals, Dom, and all the people would wear, clown paint. And I think it was people that would wear clown paint. As a matter of fact, I worked with someone, and she went to these things, and she's like, I'm a rocker through and through. I'm like, oh, you are? I like rock music. She's like, yeah, I go to Insane Clown Posse. I wear the makeup and everything. I was like, whoa.
There you go.
And I did not see it. This was a normal looking person. I mean, normal, boring person. And she's like, yeah, I'm into it. I'm into that scene. So
what do you say renaming for Don't Bury the Lead purposes, the MFTs become the Insane Samoan Posse?
Let's do it.
Because they basically just wear the weird face paint at this point and they clown people.
Yes, they do wear they dress up like ICP. They might as well call them.
They look like they're going to an ICP show. Except they walk out to the ring with Solo Sikoa. So very good. Thank you, WrestleZone, for this article. Another one from Brandon Thurston at WrestleNomics. AEW drops the bid to trademark Shockwave after the dispute with the NWA. Apparently, Tony Khan and Billy Corgan were able to have a conversation. According to Tony Khan, said had a really nice talk with Billy Corgan. And then he said, I'm probably not going to use it, when he was talking to Ariel Helwani on Ariel Helwani's radio and podcast show. Apparently, they are not pursuing the trademark. NWA used it first. Maybe as a gesture of goodwill, Billy Corgan has also told a lot of his talent to stop harping so much on AEW having a national title now, a national championship. Yeah, NWA has a national championship, but I mean, that's kind of different from Shockwave. Like Shockwave sounds like it's something that you're trying to name and trademark. Every major wrestling promotion has a world title.
Yeah,
nobody accuses someone else of stealing the name from them.
The word national isn't NWA. They don't own national.
No, they don't. It's like it's a national title or it's, like a European title or something. I mean, maybe
International.
the WWE's Intercontinental title is sort of a name brand because that's not something that's common usage. But
Mhm.
world or national, that's common.
Yeah, that
I
interview.
think, like Billy Corgan was like, okay, guys, ease off on that,
Yeah, that's good that they're on good terms. I think Tony Khan's on a bit of a apology tour.
Yeah.
Because he's on
Tell
good.
us more, John.
He's on good terms with uh um Corgan there, and so Ariel Owani basically had an interview with him years ago. And after the interview, he was asking all about CM Punk, the contracts, all these things, and Tony Khan's like, yeah, I can't say that, I can't say that, I can't say that, I can't say that. So after the interview ends, he has a show, and he said Tony Khan was the worst interview I've ever had in my life. He's terrible. It was terrible. He just wouldn't tell me anything. So then Tony Khan heard about this and blew him up on Twitter and was like, I couldn't say anything. I'll never do your show again, and none of the AEW talent are allowed to do any of your shows.
Oh.
So he got really pissed off at him. So they had beef. So recently, AEW wrestlers have been on the show, and then he just came on, and they squashed the beef. This was about a week ago. They squashed the beef, and they've been talking. The last I only heard, it's actually really good, to be honest with you. Ariel Helwani, he really asked him some tough questions, and I think Tony's being pretty honest with him. He's asking him like, "What do you think about Jim Cornette? What do you think about?" Because all the videos are about him, and then he said, "What do you think about Eric Bischoff?" And he's like, "Yeah, these guys make those videos because they have traction. People are watching them, and that's what they're there to make. Like they're making those videos." And he said, he basically what he said is, I realize that these videos are going to come up because I make a new wrestling show every 2 a week. So it's a current event.
Week, yeah.
So people will follow the current event. So this is the kind of content that is going to come after me, because I'm constantly making new stuff. Like if I do something right or do something wrong, it's going to be talked about. So I thought that was a really good professional response. And then he also mentioned with Bischoff, he said sometimes it bothers him only because he was in the same position he was. So he should understand a little bit more about what he's going through. Sometimes it seems like he's trashing him when he's like misunderstanding what he's doing. But he said he still talks to Bischoff from time to time. So, yeah, I think he's understanding. And like, he didn't mention anything about Cornette, though. So I think at this point, he probably has to block out the haters and move forward.
Yeah, and just do your thing.
Yeah, not
concentrate
just
on your business and on your audience and do your thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's it for me. Sorry.
Did at any point did Tony Khan accuse people of sleeping with the boss to get promotion?
You know what I heard?
Totally deadpan that and like get the studio audience to chuckle.
You know what I heard? Not only was it HBK, it was Triple H and Vince. They were lovers. They were lovers.
Speaking of Triple H, last one up here from WrestleZone. Triple H, I found it kind of a funny story. He reveals the only time he legitimately hurt someone with that sledgehammer gimmick that he used to do. And it was the time where they gimmicked the sledgehammer to make it foam instead of a real sledgehammer.
Wow.
But in trying to use it, the handle went through the foam and he actually cut the Undertaker.
Oh, no.
It was apparently at WrestleMania 17. So he said, I did not like using, every now and then they'd have a prop one or something. He did not like using the props. He would rather use a regular sledgehammer because he knew how to keep his opponent safe.
Yeah, he
with
knew.
the real sledgehammer. He says, we were going to, I believe it was WrestleMania. He was going to put me up for the last ride. I was going to grab the hammer on the way up, but we were so afraid that could I get all the way up there and still use the sledgehammer because of the weight. So we used a gimmick sledgehammer that had a foam head because it was much lighter. I went up top and hit him in the head with it. I held on to the foam part to protect him. the handle went all the way through the foam part and cut him. Motions across his forehead. When I hit him, I had no idea. He went down, and when he came up, he's bleeding. I'm like, what happened? He's just covered in blood.
Oh.
Folks, use real sledgehammers. I think that's what Triple H is trying to tell us here.
Unbelievable.
Paul Levesque, Chief Content Officer, Chief Creative Officer of the WWE, high-ranking official in publicly traded TKO. I think he's trying to tell us, use the real weapons.
That's got to be it, right? That's the message. That's what I got out of this, Dom.
And if I could put together everything we've talked about here in Cheap Heat, it's try this at home, use real weapons, and if somebody gets pushed ahead of you, they probably slept with the boss. John, it's pathologically frugal. It's unseasonably warm. What is it?
It's cheap heat. And Dom, I am going to do something that's very uncharacteristic of myself. I should have mentioned this before the call, but I have to get up super early. So,
Okay.
as a result of getting
Tomorrow is Thanksgiving. We are recording this on Wednesday night, November 26th, previewing all of the weekend's great stuff in line for WWE at Survivor Series.
So, just wanted to let you know, have a great Thanksgiving. And when was your birthday?
It was this past Monday.
Oh, happy birthday.
Well,
we'll
thank you. Yes.
We'll have to do something on the next show. I didn't even realize it. I'll bring it up in the next show.
I could wear the 100 glasses again because I'm now 100 years old.
You've aged
At least
well,
if you
my
round
friend.
it. If you round it. I'm now at the point where my age rounds to 100 rather than 0.
You're at the point where your age rounds to 100 rather than 0. So you are 50?
Yes.
Oh, you're 50. You're the big 5-0. Look at that. Oh, we got to celebrate the big 5-0. Well, I knew we were about 10 years apart. So that makes
I
sense.
guess so, yeah.
I turned 40, so you're 50. That totally makes sense. Okay, well, happy birthday. That's a huge one.
Well, thank you.
Wow, I'm going to hang on for a sec here. Wow. Wow.
It's the Italian goodbye, folks.
It's the Italian goodbye. I started a conversation. Now I can't get out. No, we'll do something next show. Are you crazy? I
am not only crazy, I am an insane clown.
On that note, we must leave. Thank you so much for joining, everyone. Thank you, Nick Teodoro. Check out his channel if you're watching us now. The Nick
Club Wrestling Happy Hour.
Nick Club Wrestling Happy Hour. I'm joined by Dom Scarcella. Dom, thank you so much. This one was a ton of fun. And we'll catch you guys not this upcoming Saturday, but the Saturday after. And I hope you guys enjoy SummerSlam and really enjoy the holiday. Thank you so much, and have a great rest of your evening.